Auburn Blitz is now on the air. Your daily look into what's happening in Auburn athletics. With your host, Andy Graham, Brett Pritchard, Randy Lee, War Eagle.
Hello again, everyone, and good Tuesday afternoon. Welcome into the latest edition of the Auburn Blitz. I am Andy Graham alongside Randy Lee. We'll be with you for the next hour, taking your comments, taking your phone calls, talking about everything going on in the world of Auburn athletics and maybe even beyond. We appreciate all of you out there being with us each and every day here on the Auburn Blitz, Monday through Friday, 12 to 1. You can find us on Spectrum Cable, of course. You can dial us up on the Sports Blitz Facebook page. That's Sports with a Z. And you can comment away. We'll get to as many of those as we can throughout the show, but we'd love to hear from you. Give us a call the old-fashioned way. 256-234-6221 is our number here. So a lot going on. Actually, some positive news to talk about with the Auburn Tigers and recruiting. We haven't mentioned that in a while. Last week, I kind of talked about it, and David and I went over it pretty in depth about how Auburn came out of the month of June with 0 commitments, and they only had 2 total, but that changed dramatically in the 1st of July as they have added 2 more commitments, 2 really good commitments, running back Jeremiah Cobb and wide receiver Carmelo English. So we'll talk about that a little bit, break that down. I was hoping maybe when we came on today we could talk about another big-time prospect signing with Auburn with Keldrick Falk, defensive lineman, but that he chose to go to Florida State. So to each his own. We'll move on from that. But at least Auburn's got a little bit of positive momentum heading in the right direction. So we'll talk about that. And the recruiting class looks a little better too. So Randy's always that's one of the big factors as far as Brian Harson's future and how you feel about everything moving forward. So love to get your thoughts on that. Obviously, UCLA and USC, last week news broke that they were moving to the Big Ten. Now, as of I think today, there was talk that Arizona State, Colorado, and Utah were in talks, or at least looking to have some conversation with the Big 12, maybe possibly moving in that direction. So what does that mean for the rest of the Pac-10, Pac-6? Now, if those 4 leave, it's a defunct conference. And then what happens to Oregon State, Washington State? So a lot of questions, not many answers. We'll talk about that. We'd love to hear from you, whatever. If you got a new subject you'd like to talk about, or if you got any thoughts on these things, by all means, let us know. I hope you had a wonderful holiday, 4th of July. It was, the weather's been hit or miss, but nonetheless, that's kind of the way it is in July. But I certainly had a good day. How about yourself?
I did. Busy weekend, back on a Tuesday, so yeah. You're doubling up your normal Monday woes into a Tuesday, so I'm kind of spinning as I walk in the door here, but it's a good thing. There's plenty going on and plenty of positive news to talk about as an Auburn fan. And we aren't just going to sit up here and beat a dead horse. When there's positive news to pass along, by all means, you will hear it from us. We aren't ones that just constantly look for the bad. I wish we had a lot more good to talk about, and we do have a little bit here, Andy, so let's run down some of these gets. I'll start with Jeremiah Cobb. Didn't see him with my own 2 eyes last year. Didn't call any of his games, but had heard a lot about him.
From Montgomery Catholic.
Know he's from a program that has been winning football games at a very high level. He's a burner. He's more of a size guy that feels like it's a good fit for Auburn. 5'11", 186. Not a lot different than what you get from Tank and some of the other backs that we've had success with. Trey Mason, keep going down the line. We really haven't put the big 6'2", 6'3", 230-pound back out there at Auburn, have we? We've been more of this look as a senior in high school.
Yeah, no doubt. But he was a guy that I think Carnell Williams targeted immediately.
Looks like him.
And he does. And that's kind of reason,
Yeah.
I think that's not a coincidence. So, he's a guy that I think was number one on Auburn's board. I think a lot of guys, people have him as the number one running back in the state of Alabama.
They do. Number 8 in the country.
So, that's a very good, positive 4-star guy that can come in. And when you start thinking about, okay, if Tank Bigsby, there's no guarantee that he will leave after this year, but more than likely he will leave after this year. So you start thinking about, okay, you got Jarquez Hunter, who
Very serviceable.
really very nice guy coming in as a freshman. You got Damari Alston in this class. You got Sean Jackson, who a guy that people don't really talk much about, but could help you certainly in the room. And then you add Jeremiah Cobb to that. So that's 4 guys right there in your running back room for the foreseeable next 2 or 3 years. You feel pretty good about it.
Well, I think Cadillac has done nothing but take our expectations of him as a coach up a level. I thought Travis Williams did the same when he was at Auburn.
Yeah.
We all liked him, thought very highly of him, but the longer that he was around, the more all of us kind of knew his passion, knew what he was saying, liked that he was representing the Auburn product, and I feel that way about Carnell Williams right now. And I think that that's proven to be really strong for us on the recruiting front. And I'd want to go play for the guy.
Yeah.
You know, it was never a part of me that didn't like when he was in front of a camera or what he stood for or how passionate he seemed about the game. I don't think any of us ever questioned that about Cadillac. So it is, I'll stick with that before I talk about the guy. You know, I think that as long as you go out there and it doesn't necessarily always have to be an Auburn guy, but it sure is nice when it is.
Yeah. No, oh, yeah. How about Montgomery Catholic? You're talking about what he did. Last 2 years, 426 rushing attempts. He's very durable.
Very durable, over 4,000 yards rushing on those attempts, almost
9.8 a carry.
Yeah, almost 10 yards per carry. He's a burner. He scores a lot of touchdowns and a lot of them from long distance out. Can catch the football out of the backfield. Right around 800 yards in receptions in the last couple of years as well. He had 32 touchdowns last year as a junior. It was a great team that really had no major flaws going into, I think, that semifinal round where they lost. Can't remember exactly how it played out, but they did lose one very late in the playoff process, so maybe they'll get over the hump this year, and he'll be one of the key reasons why. So,
lost to Trinity? Lost to Alabama Christian or something?
It was another one of the Montgomery schools.
You should not have lost. A team that they had beaten earlier, right?
Yes, correct.
Okay.
Yeah, but they play each other so much, and so Montgomery Academy, maybe.
Montgomery Academy.
Yeah. But here's the deal about, Jeremiah Cobb. I think he's also one of those guys that seems very high on Auburn. It's not that he just committed. I guess you've got to be high on a school when you commit, but the things that come out of his mouth make you think that I think he's thought a lot of Auburn from day one. Do you agree?
I do.
And Carnell Williams.
He's a guy that's going to push and is going to be a recruiter for you.
Yes.
I think he's that kind of guy in this class.
And no longer can you look at this year's recruiting class in the state of Alabama and say, well, he's like the 12th or 13th ranked recruit in the state of Alabama. The 12th or 13th ranked recruit in the 2023 class of the state of Alabama is a lot higher than most normal years. Right now, we looked on Saturday, and I think that there are 22 players here in the state of Alabama that are ranked 4- and 5-star. We've talked to Jason Caldwell, and I think this was a question you had a couple of months ago, and he thought that number as the season progresses could reach close to 30. So 34 5-star athletes in the state of Alabama, there is no comparison when you're looking at population anywhere else in the country with what we're producing here in this state. And it's not quite double, but it's a good number higher than our normal year in the state.
And got to take advantage of it. We've been talking about that for how many leading up to this. This is the class you absolutely have to take advantage of because there are the Miamis and the Clemsons and the Georgias and the Ohio States, and everybody else is zeroed in on Alabama this year and said, hey, we're coming to cherry pick. And if you don't get your fair share as an Auburn right here in the middle of the state, then this is a total failure.
And these are two really good starts. And not only for the players that they are and the type of athletes that they are, but from the locations they're coming from. Auburn desperately needs to shore up that Montgomery area. We've been successful over the years in reaching out in the Montgomery area and really being strong there, and we need to continue that. There's some more to get.
When's the last time we got a guy from Central Phoenix City?
I was going to that one next. Because, and you may ask, why is Phoenix City so important? I'll tell you why they're so important. They're the second best overall. They're the second best school here in the state of Alabama outside of Thompson. And Thompson seems to be a factory line to the University of Alabama. Maybe we can change that slightly, but I don't see it anytime soon. It would be nice that if Thompson's 1A, then right there at Phoenix City's 1B, and Auburn High School is right there in the mix as well. We need to have a streamline of athletes coming from those two schools to Auburn University, and getting English is a good start.
Carmelo English, we'll talk about him. When we come back a little bit, there's another 4-star wide receiver this time that Auburn got. And this was a bit of a surprise. Not that he committed to Auburn. He had said he was going to delay his announcement on July 2nd, came back on the 4th, and it was a nice little perk for Auburn on it. Don't go anywhere. We'll be back with more of the Auburn Blitz right after this.
Hi, this is Brian Bice with Bice Motors. With our all-star lineup of Dodge trucks, Jeep, SUVs, and Chrysler cars, we offer the area a team dedicated to making your next vehicle purchase a positive experience. Our sales team offers competitive pricing, and we back up all sales with a service department second to none. Bice Motors also offers the area's best selection of pre-owned vehicles. Visit Bice Motors at 2133 Cherokee Road in Alexander City.
Guaranteed lowest price. Buy it at Bice Motors.
Hillaby Towers is an affordable senior citizens community located in Alexander City on Highway 22 East. Spacious one-bedrooms are available now. Great location, peaceful setting, comfortable living where pets are allowed and utilities are included. Call today to find out more information on Alexander City's best-kept secret, 256-329-0552. That's Hillaby Towers in Alexander City.
WOTM is the television provider for all Alabama High School Athletic Association championship events and special programs. WOTM is your home for the Super 7 football, state finals basketball, baseball and softball state championships, the AHSAA weekly show, and WOTM also produced the first ever football playoff show, Super 7 preview show, and reclassification reveal show. Your exclusive home for all things AHSAA is WOTM. Contact your local cable provider to request WOTM to your channel lineup.
Finding a job might be tough, but starting your new career has never been easier. Wellborn Cabinet in Ashland has a wide array of career opportunities with benefits. General labor production, skilled cabinet builders, product assembly line, shipping, over-the-road truck drivers, clerical, marketing, security, daycare, office clerks, and so much more. Apply in person, 38669 Highway 77 South in Ashland, or online at wellborn.com. Building cabinets, building careers, and building our community.
Whether it's Lake Martin, Lay Lake, or Logan Martin, boaters from all over the state of Alabama come to Alex City Marine, just off Highway 280 in Alexander City, Alabama, because it's worth the drive. With the best deals on unbeatable Suzuki outboards, Manitou and Landau Tritoons, and a great pre-owned inventory while they last. Alex City Marine is the pros the locals know. And no matter where you're from, when you're here, you're local to us. Alex City Marine, just off Highway 280 in Alexander City, Alabama. AlexCityMarine.com.
Heritage South Credit Union in Alexander City is your community credit union, and they have been for over 80 years. Heritage South Credit Union proudly serves Tallapoosa, Coosa, Lee, Chambers, Randolph, and Chilton counties. From checking to business accounts, to share savings to club accounts, to their kids club and investments. Visit them online at myhscu.com. Heritage South Credit Union, your community credit union for 80 years. Federally insured by NCUA.
A&M Plumbing, A&M Plumbing, service at its best when you need it most.
From the smallest drippy faucet to drain cleaning to water heater replacement to gas lines to total systems replacement, A&M Plumbing handles it all. Visit amplumbing.net today for the experienced, licensed, and insured pros at A&M Plumbing.
A&M Plumbing, A&M Plumbing, service at its best when you need it most.
It's been 30 years. 30 years of growth. 30 years of dedication. 30 years of service and value to our great customers. 30 years of automotive technology and innovation. We are proud to celebrate our anniversary at Glenn Smith Chevrolet Buick GMC in Opelika, making you smile for 30 years.
Welcome back, everyone, to the Auburn Blitz. Andy and Randy here with you. About 45 more minutes left in today's show. We are brought to you each and every day by Mortgage Pro, the Eric McKinley team, saving people thousands of dollars each and every year on their home mortgage. Give them a call today, 256-397-0248, 256-397-0248. We could all use a little extra money. Randy, I paid $4.02 a gallon for gas and thought I was stealing.
Isn't that? I thought the same thing. I got it down in the 430s here in Alex City, and I was like, golly, this is great. This is glorious.
I thought 402. I thought, man, that's actually pretty good. And now I slapped myself in the face, and I said, what are you talking about? That's outrageous. But anyway, I digress. Let's go to the phone line.
Terry, you're on the Auburn Blitz.
Guys, how y'all doing today?
We're great, Terry. Glad to have you.
Good to be here. I hope y'all had a good fourth.
We did. Hope
Wonderful.
with you, too.
Me too. I had a good one. Ate too much. I always do. It's my last fourth in Talladega, so I ate as much as I could. With recruiting the way it is, and these are two great gets, don't you basically with NI have to re-recruit the next year and year over and over again? The reason I say that is because Carnell Williams is possibly going to be seeking higher ground at some point.
Yeah, I agree. I think that you do have to keep the guys around. I think we had to do some coercing in the offseason to keep Tank around, didn't we?
Oh, yeah.
That's it. That's it. Because where could he realistically be drafted, Andy and Randy?
Depends on what kind of year.
I don't see running backs going in the first round very much.
It depends on what kind of year he has.
Right.
I think he's got a chance. If we're pretty good on the offensive front, we've got a lot of starts there. So I wouldn't be surprised to see him put up big numbers this year, and I'm hoping that they're a little bit better than what we saw last year where he snuck over 1,000. If you told me Tank got to 1,300 or 1,400 yards rushing, I could see it be a late first rounder.
Yeah, I mean, if he's invited to New York, I mean, if he's a Heisman candidate, then yeah, he's high second, low first round, I think, yeah.
That's something I never understood about the NFL draft. I know it's money related, but I'd rather go late and go to a decent team, a team somewhere about 22 on that's right there on the cusp. Somebody like Buffalo that's right there ready to be in the Super Bowl.
And that would be where my guess would be around Tank. I don't see us keeping him another year. I just think there's too much talent there, and he looks like a pro back, and he runs like a pro back. So we better take advantage of this last year we got with him.
And something I've always looked at with recruiting-wise, guys, is who you beat teams out for. Now, Auburn's beating guys out for UAB and Southern Miss. Nothing against those programs. But when you're beating out Alabama and Georgia and, schools like that, Texas A&M, LSU, you're doing something there. And that's where these guys could have went. Now, I know y'all feel a butt coming, so I'm not going to say it. But I'm going to say, although Auburn's need, these are two very pressing needs. And it's awesome. But their bigger pressing need, Randy, Andy, you know this, there's offensive line. We've got to get some offensive linemen. Because I ain't never seen a receiver catch a pass from a quarterback laying on his rear end, and I ain't never seen a running back put up big numbers. It goes back to the old argument what Barry Sanders ran behind Emmitt Smith's offensive line in Dallas.
Yeah, there's no telling what he put up. But to change that over to what your point is, I agree. I think Braden Joyner's a good get, but we need about 4 or 5 more pieces to go along with that, Terry, and I'm sure that's something that we're looking for. And I don't know what would hold offensive linemen up more than anything else. I sense that this Brian Harsin type of system is going to be good for linemen heading to the NFL, wouldn't you?
Well, I agree. I agree. And you just saw the offensive lineman out of Anniston commit to Alabama. It just seems like Alabama just keeps rolling along, which I don't think that's stoppable at this point. But they've got to get offensive linemen, and you've got to develop them, because if Brian Harsin, and I think he's a knucklehead, quite honestly, but if he's going to line up to try to play a smash mouth brand of football, he's going to need offensive linemen who can move guys. And guys, if they had an offensive line that can move people, they would have beat Alabama.
Oh, gosh, if we'd had a quarterback that was even semi-decent, made a couple of more plays, we beat Alabama. So, yeah.
Right.
Isn't that offensive lineman that committed from Anniston, didn't he a 3-star? I think Alabama's recruiting's going down.
Well, I do think that there are more schools in this.
Right.
There are more schools around the country in this state recruiting this year than I can remember any time past.
Well, you just had a guy go from Alabama to Penn State. You don't see that a lot.
Yeah, Franklin's doing a tremendous job at the state of Alabama this year. I've seen
Now,
3 or 4
that's a guy,
names.
I'll tell you right now, if I couldn't have Hugh Freeze, that's a guy I'd want, because I think that's a guy that could run Nick Saban out of Alabama, because he can recruit and he can do. I don't think it's ever going to happen. But the guy won at Vanderbilt, guys.
Oh, I'd take him in a heartbeat. I think a lot of other
The guy
programs
won at
would,
Vanderbilt,
too.
enough said, right?
You're not sure about Franklin?
He makes me want to take a shower. I mean, he just, of course, Hugh Freeze is about the same thing, too.
No, Hugh Freeze
Maybe
is
you
worse.
just got to. You think
You take Brian Harsin over them guys.
I don't know if I'd take Brian Harsin. The jury's still out on him.
I'm not sure the jury's left the courtroom out yet.
Yeah.
Take care, guys.
Thank you.
I
We appreciate it,
appreciate
Terry. 256-234-6221. He's exactly right, though. I mean, Auburn's woes in recruiting offensive linemen have gone back 10 years. It's probably a position we got to change more than any other.
I got to get out of this hole. You can't, if you're going to try to be, factor in morality to the situation, you never going to hire anybody. So, I put Lane Kiffin and Hugh Freeze and
all of them
and
together.
Franklin all together.
God, is Franklin as bad as the other two?
Yes.
Is he?
Yes.
Oh, man, I don't get the sense. The other two, I just would rather not have them as my coach.
Really?
I could take Franklin.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, now you get him in front of a mic. There's some things that come up.
There was just the things that were going on at Vandy. It didn't go on any time before and haven't gone on after. But there were multiple rapes and all kind of stuff going on that kind of got swept under the rug a little. So I'm just saying he's not. I don't think he's any better or any worse than any of the rest of them. Let's just say that.
But you're not going to weigh your next coaching hire.
There's just something about him I've never really liked. I don't know.
I've
but
never thought that.
you take him in a heartbeat.
Oh, yeah. I think he can recruit.
All right. Well, Mario Cristobal can recruit.
I think I'd take Franklin over Cristobal.
Really?
Yes.
There ain't no question about that for me. I would take Cristobal 10 times before I'd take Franklin.
Okay.
But, that's interesting. All right, we got to take a break. Don't go anywhere. We'll be back with more of the Auburn Blitz right after this.
Growing your business isn't just one thing. It's a million little things. Should you lease, rent, or own? How fast can you get that part? Does it fit the budget? That's what your local cat dealer is here for. With expert advice, flexible financing, and industry-leading equipment, you can get the job done day after day. Visit ThompsonCat.com, your compact equipment provider.
The Eric McKinley team at Mortgage Pro in Alexander City is the perfect lender for all your mortgage needs. Property values have increased and interest rates have never been so low. So if you haven't looked at refinancing your house in the last 6 to 12 months, Mortgage Pro is here to help you take advantage of that. Our team is closing loans in 15 days or less, so give us a call at 256-397-0248 and let our team go to work for you today.
Frontline Outfitters provides all your aftermarket parts for your cars, trucks, and as well as your professional tinting solutions for auto, residential, and commercial buildings. Frontline Outfitters also handles vinyl wraps, spray-in bed liners, truck accessories, LED lighting, paint correction and detailing, and much more. Make sure Frontline Outfitters of Alexander City is your first call for tinting and aftermarket solutions. Call us today, 256-409-8100.
The interstate is backed up this morning due to an accident.
So you don't like sitting still on the interstate? Get the free Algo traffic app. With Algo, you'll have the information you need to avoid problems on your route to work, to home, to the beach. Traffic backups, wrecks, lane closures, all with current info and live traffic camera feeds. Know before you go with Algo Traffic, ALGO Traffic from the Alabama Department of Transportation. Get it today and arrive on time.
Lake Martin Garage, located on Highway 280 in Jackson's Gap, has been serving our area since 1993. From routine maintenance such as oil changes, tune-ups, and rotating and balancing your tires, to transmission and engine repair, our trained and certified mechanics will get you back on the road better than before. Need a tow? With a 24-hour, 7-day-a-week towing service, Lake Martin Garage has local and long-range pickup. Trust your vehicle needs to the professionals at Lake Martin Garage. Call 256-825-6139, or better yet, stop in and see them today. Lake Martin Garage.
Russell Building Supply and Home Center is just around the corner in a brand new, convenient location with a wide selection of grills, hardware, tools, paint, lawn and garden, and much more. The new store offers more home improvement items along with other helpful conveniences like a drive-through lumber yard and our Best Rewards program, making it an ideal destination for do-it-yourselfers and professional contractors. Get ready for game day on the plains by stocking up on all your Auburn tailgating gear at Russell Building Supply and Home Center.
EnviroCare is the standard in East Central Alabama for all your pest control and termite needs. EnviroCare exclusively offers Centricon termite colony elimination system that is the industry's most effective termite control to protect your home year-round. The EnviroCare team's service is also the standard for our customers. From eliminating home pests to superior termite control, nobody cares like EnviroCare, serving Lake Martin and East Central Alabama.
For more than 40 years, Ingram Equipment Company has helped companies, towns, and cities with their dirtiest, most challenging jobs by providing the very best equipment and by helping them keep in tip-top working condition. IEC represents leading manufacturers such as Heil garbage truck bodies, Timco sweepers, Step pothole patchers, and many more. We proudly support all athletes and teams that compete across the state and wish them good luck this year. Ingram Equipment Company, ingramequipment.net.
Welcome back, everyone, to the Auburn Blitz. Andy and Randy here with you. Jim chimes in, says Auburn baseball set to ink a top 10 recruiting class. 1 5-star, 4 4-stars, the rest are 3 stars. Current Auburn player Kason Howell was quoted to say, met the incoming players last week at War Eagle orientation, and they are way bigger than any recent freshman at Auburn I've seen. There are several of those guys. We talked about that, I think, last week a little bit. Ike Irish, I think he's like, once the draft, which is, I think, middle of July, some of those guys are probably going to get drafted pretty high. We might lose a couple of those guys, but that happens every year. But anyway, Butch Thompson continued doing great work in baseball.
Well, there's just no comparison to the training regiments that these kids grow up in today in comparison to the 20-plus years ago when all of our group of friends and any of us that were active in summer ball and weight training, and it's a business now. And so 18-year-old kids have been in development programs and in weight rooms and had opportunities in some of these bigger communities that we would have only dreamed of back then. So I'm not surprised to hear it. You know, the odd thing is to watch a lot of SEC play and still see some of the smaller guys that hit in the middle of the order. You know, the little 5'8", 170-pound guys that still play. I mean, baseball hasn't changed, though.
Yeah.
You know, it's not just gorilla ball. It's not. You know, you watched Auburn last year. Auburn put a couple of big guys up at the plate, but for the most part, the other 6 to 7 guys were average-sized, you know, people hitting, swinging the
That's
bat.
the thing about baseball. I mean, home runs are nice, and they create immediate RBIs and things like that. But you know what? You can hit 380 and not have 2 home runs all year long.
Yeah.
I mean, you know, that's baseball.
You think back to Mississippi State with their championship team, Mangum, and all of those guys. These were just little ball players. They weren't big old Mark McGuire-looking bulls up there at the plate. Now, that Tennessee group that we saw this year, they were eating steroids for breakfast and lunch and dinner. They did not look normal. That didn't look like normal frames to me. So maybe more of them are getting to look like that based off of the success that you saw that Tennessee program have. Who knows?
Who knows? Going back to what we were talking about, Jeremiah Cobb commits. Also, Carmelo English from Phoenix City, 5'11", here again, 5'11", 175. Going back to, we're getting, you know, are you recruiting used to, you'd like 6'4", 220. Now it's 5'11", 175. But regardless, you look, like you mentioned several times, you brought it up, the NFL, you look at those rosters. This is the kind of the body type of a lot of those wide receivers in the NFL now. This is the top 141 player in the country. So explosive, the word physical play, you don't hear that a lot from a wide receiver, but that's the word of him. Plays very strong, very physical. He had a really good year at Phoenix City last year, 70 catches, 1,000 yards, 1,059 and 18 touchdowns. So I think a big part of his recruitment is Ike Hilliard.
Well, and Ike Hilliard looked like that.
Yeah.
You know, we're going
and
back
caught
to
a lot of passes.
Going back to the imps of the two that we just mentioned. One kind of is the imps of Carnell, and the other looks a lot like the coach that he'll have at Auburn, and Ike Hilliard. And those are two great players from the college days that put up massive numbers, so it's easy to buy into what they're selling. So that's a good thing going for Auburn right now. I do think our assistant coaches that we've added, like James has said over and over again, they're getting after it, and it's paying dividends. And look, I'll throw darts when deserved, but I'll also pull them back when deserved. And if Auburn can finish anywhere near 10th in recruiting this year, and I think we can, and we win 7 ball games, I'm good. Let's keep riding with Harsin, because if he figures this recruiting side out, I think the guy can coach. I believe that.
So Carmelo English, Jeremiah Cobb, Terrence Love, that's a 4-star safety out of Fairburn, Georgia, I believe, and 4-star offensive lineman Braden Joyner. There's your interior offensive lineman from Auburn. 4 recruits now, so you double you went from 2 to 4. Auburn still, that's the fewest recruits in the SEC. But you look at the quality of the class as it stands right now. Auburn's, only got 4 guys committed, but all 4 of them 4 stars. That's more than Ole Miss and Mississippi State and Vanderbilt and all these teams that have more recruits that are above them, and they're mostly all 3 stars. Arkansas's got 20 recruits. They got 6 4-stars. So, you start projecting ahead. You start looking, okay, you just continue to fill out this class with the quality that you have established right now, and it will be a top 10 class.
I agree.
Now, that's easier said than done, but still.
More important to me are Alabama ties. 2 of the top 3 high school programs in the state are on this list, Auburn High School and Central Phoenix City. And you got to shore up your grounds around, if we're looking at 2 high schools that I want to make sure that we get more than our fair share from, it's those 2 moving forward. And so all positives. Let's hope it continues, and let's hope there's more down the pipe, because I am hearing Auburn's name a lot more than I was 6 months ago.
Yeah. you're going to have to land some big-time guys, and I don't know, like Quay Russaw or James Smith. That may be a pipe dream right now. I don't know. But it may be possible, too. There's certainly some more interest there than there has been as of late. So go out and have a really good season, overachieve, and I think that will really push you over the edge with a lot of these guys. So we'll see what happens. Ooh, don't go anywhere. We'll be back with more of the Auburn Blitz right after these important messages.
Lake Martin has a new car buying experience. It's the TR Group of Alex City on Cherokee Road. The TR Group has up to 100 late model vehicles to choose from and will not be beat on price, selection, or financing. With the TR Group, your selection and quality is easy and your good credit is rewarded. But we offer guaranteed financing on our inventory because your future is more important than your past. The TR Group, Lake Martin's new standard in auto sales. Located at 814 Cherokee Road, Alex City, USA.
Tails are wagging and pets are bragging about Zoom to Groom. Columbus, Phoenix City, and Smith Station. Zoom to Groom comes to you. It's mobile pet grooming from the comfort of your driveway. Schedule your appointment now online at zoomtogroom.net or by phone at 334-740-9909.
Whether you prefer bricks, clicks, or taps, there's one place built around all your needs. For whatever it is you want to do. Even if your needs change, we'll be right there with you, making it all possible. Because you never know when a new addition will come along. So walk in, log on, or tap away. Either way, Valley's built to help you do you. Wherever life takes you, we'll be right there with you.
Hey guys, this is Nate Paz with Airport Motors.
I'm Connor Branch with Fairway Auto Brokers in Opelika, Alabama.
And this is your first ever Lake Martin Summer Car Blitz.
That's right, Lake Martin. Airport Motors and Fairway Auto Brokers is teaming up for the very first Lake Martin Summer Car Blitz. Make sure to check out either website for the very best selection of pre-owned luxury trucks, SUVs, and sedans in East Alabama. Get pre-approved in minutes online and make sure to use the keyword Summer Blitz in the comments section for $500 off internet price. That's keyword Summer Blitz.
At C&T Electric, our clients are our priority. For the safety and security of your family and home, our technicians are professionally trained, drug tested, background checked, and wear uniforms with name tags. We're proud to have served the Elk City, Dadeville, and Lake Martin areas for the past 10 years. Give us a call at 256-234-0007 for all your electrical service and repair needs. Or visit us on the web at www.cntelectricllc.com and spell out the word "and."
Something big is coming. Something so big, it'll change the world of chicken sandwiches. Zaxby's new signature sandwich with Zax sauce or new spicy Zax sauce. Because the chicken sandwich war ain't over yet. The new signature sandwich. All the other little sandwiches can run along. We'll take it from here.
Hey, this is Doug Roberts, long-term resident of Alexander City. I sold my house with Century 21 Lake Area Realty because all my life I had heard that to sell a house you need 3 things: location, location, location. I found out there's actually 4. You need location, 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 and Rhonda Gaskins at Century 21 Lake Area Realty to sell your house fast.
Call me today and let me go to work for you. 256-749-3644.
Tails are wagging and pets are bragging about Zoom to Groom. Columbus, Phoenix City, and Smith Station. Zoom to Groom comes to you. It's mobile pet grooming from the comfort of your driveway. Schedule your appointment now online at zoomtogroom.net or by phone at 334-740-9909.
Brubaker Motors in Montgomery is the largest and fastest growing used car dealership in the River Region. You can absolutely get a better buy at Brubaker. It's better at Brubaker.com.
Brubaker! Brubaker!
You can absolutely get a better buy at Brubaker.
BREWBAKER. BREWBAKER.com.
It's better at Brubaker.com.
Welcome back, everyone, to the Auburn Blitz. Just a couple of more segments left in today's show. Andy and Randy taking you up to 1 o'clock. Brought to you each and every day by Big Fish Real Estate. For all your real estate needs here in the Lake Martin area as well as down there on the coast, give them a call today, 551-BIG-FISH, or look them up, bigfishlakemartin.com. USC and UCLA moving to the Pac-10. That's a done deal now. Big Ten voted unanimously to accept them. That leaves the Pac-12 with 10 teams. You got the SEC now with 16 if you add Oklahoma and Texas. You got Big Ten with 16 if you add UCLA and USC. The ACC's 14 and a half if you want to add Notre Dame, who does half a schedule. And you got the Big 12 with actually 12 teams now if you add BYU, Cincinnati, Houston, and Central Florida. So, are we? It seems to be all signs seem to point to this 4 super conferences, or even maybe 3 super conferences. I don't know. What's going to happen with the ACC? Or are you going to have? They've got a TV contract apparently that goes into the 2030s. So. All these other ones are like 2025, 2024. You're seeing these teams move pretty early here. There's talk now that Utah, Colorado, Arizona, and Arizona State are going to meet with the Big 12. So is the Pac-12 done? Is it just obliterated? And the remnants of it, Oregon and Washington State and Stanford are going to end up finding somewhere else? Or how do you think this all works out?
Very good question. I think that the big thing is you've got to make a decision. You got to make it quick. Because if you're left out in the cold, the way things are moving, you're going to be so far removed from those that are playing for competitive championships that I don't know how else to explain. You're going to be so far removed from where all the real money's going that you're going to be left out in the cold. So I really don't know. I think the Pac-12 name's too strong to let go. I think it may be some smaller schools that become involved to go along with the 4 or 5 that are willing to stay.
Or they Boise State.
I think it's worth more than another name. Now, is it as valuable at that point compared to where it was? No. But then again, it's still worth more than the Mountain West Conference, or you just name whichever ones you want to name out there, or any of them hold any ground more than the Pac-12. Now, do I think that it's going to be strong enough to compete once everything is formed together and we have a championship series just based around the 4 major conferences? I don't know, and I think that's where we're heading.
Yeah. If you were going, somebody's going to get left out.
Yes.
Right? Who would you leave out? Who would you want to leave out when you look at these things? Let's say, obviously, Vanderbilt adds a lot baseball-wise, and they're not a bad basketball program. They're not good. They've been terrible here as of late, but historically they've been pretty decent. They bring nothing in football. However, they're not going anywhere, right? They're a charter member of the SEC. You're not going to kick. They're going to be a part of this, right?
I don't think we're going to kick them out, and I don't think we're going to kick them out for that market as well.
Exactly.
The Nashville markets is one that's needed.
I don't know as you look at anybody. Missouri. If you wanted to kick somebody out, who would it be?
I don't think we're going to kick anybody out.
Okay, so SEC is solid.
I think we're solid. May add more.
What about some of these others? Like a Wake Forest. What do they bring to any table?
very little unless you don't have a North Carolina presence.
What about Virginia? What about Duke? Other than basketball, I mean,
Enough. That carries enough that they add. Like if you ask me if we could add Duke, oh my gosh, where do I sign? And solely just because of basketball.
Yeah, but if you add Duke, you got to add North Carolina, don't you?
You don't necessarily have to. No, I think that you could see either of those two split. I know that the big-time college basketball fans would hate to see that, but I could see that happening. And one from that state's enough for the SEC. Do you agree?
Yeah, I think.
And it may be an NC State. I think an NC State makes more sense for NC State if the other two were to choose not. How about that? How about NC State?
Traditionally a good baseball program.
Yes.
Good basketball program.
Solid football program.
Solid football. I mean, it hasn't been great, but solid.
Solid, yes.
Yeah. I mean, they're.
I think it's like it feels like an A&M.
Yeah.
Coming when A&M decided to, probably, a third party in a two-team state that gets talked about the most in most sports, and that's Duke and North Carolina.
Yeah.
Clemson.
Clemson. Oh, Clemson's enough. Well, that's what does the ACC maintain?
I think they're going to maintain, though.
So you think they maintain as a full-fledged entity?
I think
and are not cherry-picked across.
If they are cherry-picked, it'll be SEC cherry-picking. It'll only be a couple of teams.
Clemson, Miami, Florida State.
I don't know.
All to the SEC.
I'd rather not have Miami and Florida State. I don't know what they add overall to the brand. I wouldn't mind seeing Clemson. I wouldn't mind seeing an NC State or somebody like that.
Yeah.
I mean, do you think Florida State and Miami add anything to our conference?
I
I know Florida State and Clemson have always been talked about being more of an SEC field than the others, but
I think it adds some. I think it just adds a little bit more parity to the middle of the SEC. I mean, that's. I mean, there's no difference to me than adding Texas A&M and Missouri and.
I guess the question is, how many do you want?
Well, does it matter at this point?
It would to me.
I mean, yeah. What do you think? Let us know. 256-234-6221. We'll be back with one final segment of the Auburn Blitz right after this.
WOTM is the television provider for all Alabama High School Athletic Association championship events and special programs. WOTM is your home for the Super 7 football, state finals basketball, baseball and softball state championships, the AHSAA weekly show, and WOTM also produced the first ever football playoff show, Super 7 preview show, and reclassification reveal show. Your exclusive home for all things AHSAA is WOTM. Contact your local cable provider to request WOTM to your channel lineup.
Folks around these parts have known for a long time that Walls Tire, just a mile past the bridge on Highway 280, is your #1 stop for automotive service and repair. At Walls Tire, you'll always find quality service at a fair price on everything from AC, name brand tires, big or small repairs, routine maintenance, towing, and more. When your car or truck needs to run right, there's one place in the area to go, conveniently located and easy to find. Walls Tire, just a mile past the bridge on Highway 280.
Russell Do-It Center and building supply stores have the tools and materials to get the job done right, whether you're a professional contractor or just a weekend do-it-yourselfer. With everyday customer conveniences like a drive-through lumberyard, price match promise, and our Best Rewards program, each of our 9 locations offer top brands and building materials like lumber, hardware, tools, paint, lawn and garden, and much more. Visit today and see what Russell Do-It Center and Building Supply can help you build tomorrow.
Don't be caught in a dirty vehicle. Lake Martin Mobile Detailing will have your vehicle or boat looking like brand new in no time, and you'll be back driving in style. They specialize in detailing, paint correction, gel coat restoration, and ceramic coating. Take it to the professionals at Lake Martin Mobile Detailing. Call them today at 256-794-2328 or stop by and see them at 702 McCarty Road in Dadeville. Mention this ad and receive $10 off. Lake Martin Mobile Detailing for your cleanest vehicles around.
EnviroCare is the standard in East Central Alabama for all your pest control and termite needs. EnviroCare exclusively offers Centricon termite colony elimination system that is the industry's most effective termite control to protect your home year-round. The EnviroCare team's service is also the standard for our customers. From eliminating home pests to superior termite control, nobody cares like EnviroCare, serving Lake Martin and East Central Alabama.
Need that boost to get you started in the morning or help get you through a long day at the office? Alex City Nutrition is your answer. Alex City Nutrition, located on 2nd Broad Street in downtown Alex City, offers meal replacement shakes, post-workout shakes, extreme rebuild products, and a vast array of loaded teas that offer focus, energy, and build up your immunity and overall health. Want to buy in bulk? We now offer your favorite flavors by the gallon. Come by Alex City Nutrition today or call 256-496-8284 to begin your journey to great health.
The Eric McKinley team at Mortgage Pro in Alexander City is the perfect lender for all your mortgage needs. Property values have increased and interest rates have never been so low. So if you haven't looked at refinancing your house in the last 6 to 12 months, Mortgage Pro is here to help you take advantage of that. Our team is closing loans in 15 days or less, so give us a call at 256-397-0248 and let our team go to work for you today.
Growing your business isn't just one thing, it's a million little things. Should you lease, rent, or own? How fast can you get that part? Does it fit the budget? That's what your local cat dealer is here for. With expert advice, flexible financing, and industry-leading equipment, you can get the job done, day after day. Visit ThompsonCat.com, your compact equipment provider.
Welcome back, everyone, to the final segment of the Auburn Blitz on this Tuesday afternoon. Again, thank you so much for all of you out there being with us. Brought to you each and every day by Russell Do-It Center. They got 10 locations around Central Alabama for all your building supply, home decor, tools, whatever it might be. Go and check out Russell Do-It Center today. You will be glad that you did. Just kind of wrapping up the discussion about the conferences. You know, how many is too many? 20? Is that too many?
I don't know. It gets to a
16?
Point where
Is that the right number?
I like the number.
Okay.
I mean, I can be talked into 2 more. I could be talked into 4 more. I could be talked into whatever a good leader could get up there and tell me. But, I mean, how many do you think? I mean, you get to a point where you're adding 20-plus teams in a conference. What's the odds of winning a conference championship, which is something that you can dangle out there and feel pretty good about? You know, I don't know about you, but I feel really good that Auburn's won 2 basketball conference championships in the last 5 years. Don't you feel pretty good about that?
Sure.
I mean, at some point, you can get 30 teams in there and say how many times you get a chance to win a conference championship.
Well, it seems like the whole thing is like everybody looks at the NFL model and said, you know, NFL's runaway. It's the best, most popular sport on the planet. Well, I mean, in the United States. And so, you know, that we got to move toward that model. And that seems to be what they're moving college football to basically a semi-pro and NFL model. So you'll have this, you know, each 4 divisions with how many ever teams, and you can break it up however you want to break it up. But I mean, will there ever be the parity in college that there is in the NFL? Probably not. But that's kind of that. But the problem with that is, and I guess from a business standpoint, it's the right thing and it makes sense. But I mean, college football is about tradition, and that's what one of the things that separates it. It makes it great, and the rivalries and things like that. And I think when you do this, you kind of lose that. And I think people continue to watch, but I don't know. It just seems like the love that is going to be associated with college football is not going to be what it used to be.
Well, it's definitely not going to feel the same, and it's not going to have the luster around particular championships that it once did. I don't have a problem with the pods. I don't have a problem, but if you were to say, well, just because we need to go out there and get 8 more teams in our conference, so another conference doesn't get those 8, from a money grab standpoint, at what point does that diminish the product as a whole, though?
Yeah.
To me, there is a certain level.
There is a dividing line.
It's like Luke Robinson, and I totally agree with Luke. I mean, you can go to 4 teams, you're going to go to 8. You're going to take 8 to 16, you're going to end up with a 64-team college football championship bracket. I mean, are we going to do that? Is that the next move? I mean, it does diminish the need for great regular seasons and not losing a rivalry game, which is still important now. Mm-hmm. You still lose an Auburn or Alabama game when you're having a tremendous season. It can do what happened to Alabama on the kick 6 game. So I tend to would rather keep it at the 16. I think it's a good number. I think we've added the 2 teams that most of us would, if we had to cherry pick, we would go out there and grab. Do you like Oklahoma and Texas over USC and UCLA? How about that question?
Yes.
I do too.
Not even close.
I agree. From a passion standpoint, from a college football, from a potential standpoint, yes, could USC get back to where they were 20 years ago? Yeah, I'm kind of shocked they haven't. Can UCLA get there? Well, heck, they haven't in a long time, so I don't believe that they will. Will Texas and Oklahoma only get better as they move into the SEC? Yes, I absolutely believe that. So, but at a certain point, it makes it so incredibly tough to win a conference championship. And you may say, well, you want it to be tough. You want it to be special. I don't know. I want to have a chance to do something that you can look back on and have some pride in.
Yeah.
And if you've got to defeat 30 teams to win a conference championship at some point, I mean, the odds of that happening is just very, very small.
That's a fair point. That's a good point. July 5th, 1934, Lou Gehrig hit his 17th Grand Slam, passing Babe Ruth. He had 23 in his career. You know who has the Major League Baseball record of 25?
I should know that, but I don't.
A-Rod.
Does he really?
A-Rod.
He's got a lot of records that none of us point to.
I acknowledge.
Yes.
The great John McKay, born on this day in 1923. When asked, it's a head coach of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, what do you think about the execution of your team? He said, I'm in favor of it. Warren, great USC coach too, by the way. Warren Oates, Sergeant Hulka from Stripes.
Yes.
Also in a great movie called The Wild Bunch. Sam Peckinpah movie, Western, 1969. Ernest Borgnine, Bill Holden. Oh, good movie. Catherine Hellman. Who's the one with Tony Danza?
Yeah, okay, yeah.
He was the maid. What was that called?
Alyssa
Milano was in it.
Not Different Strokes.
Nah, but she was the redheaded mother.
Yeah, okay.
She was in Soap, too. Robbie Robertson, this is right up your alley.
Yeah. How old?
The Band.
How old?
Born on this day, 1943.
Man, he is getting up there. He's 78 years old.
Canadian.
Yep. 79 years old.
Yeah, Goose Gossage, born on this day. Mm-hmm. One of the great relievers of all time. How about Huey Lewis?
How old is he?
He is born on this day, 1950, so he's 72.
Ooh, you're getting old.
Good grief. You're not kidding. Johnny Rogers, Heisman winner, Nebraska.
Returned the punt. In the game, I mean, it won him the Heisman and deserved it.
James Lofton, Mark Cohn, he's walking in Memphis.
Mark Cohn? Don't know that.
Walking in Memphis.
I know the song, but I didn't know it was Mark Cohn.
That's his only hit.
Yeah.
Edie Falco, RZA, Wu-Tang Clan.
Yeah.
And Shohei Ohtani. He's born the year I graduated high school.
And he is as good as we may have ever seen.
He's very good.
Yes.
Very good. He's Randy Lee. He's very good. I'm Andy Graham. We'll talk again soon.